Start recording. So exam essentials. This is for chapter 3 in the ACE test. Understanding the GCP resource hierarchy. That goes all resources are organized in your organization, and then folders, and then projects. Organization policies are, what is this? Restrict resources and the resource hierarchy. Policies include restraints. For example, a constraint can be set to block access to the serial port on all VMs in a project. Let me highlight that. That's a good one. Block access to the serial port on all VMs in a project. Also understand the policy evaluation process and how to override inherent policies. Understand service accounts and how they are used. Service accounts are identities that are not associated with a specific user, but can be assigned to a resource like a VM. Resources that are assigned to service account can perform operations that the service account has permission to perform. Service accounts and how to create them. Identities. Service accounts are identities. Not a user, but assigned to a resource. Okay, GCP billing must be enabled. Billing method, credit card, invoice, all costs associated with projects. Billing account can be associated with more than one project. You manage your billing through Billing API. How to enable, well, that's good, I guess, more than one project. One or more. How to enable APIs, create stack driver workspaces. Form lets us enable APIs. You can also show a list of APIs and their status. Stack driver is a set of services monitoring, logging, tracing, debugging. I don't think they even use stack driver anymore. Whoa, that is a big question. That is a really big question. You're designing cloud applications for a healthcare provider. Let me just go to the question. Which of the following resources hierarchies would meet these requirements to provide the most flexibility to adapt to change requirements? One organization, of course. One organization. And this is no organizations. That's not even possible. With folders for records management. I haven't even read the question. And billing. Records management. Private insurer. Government payer below the organization. What is that? I need like a black marker. What is this? Edit text. What does that do? Oh no. Do not like that. I guess this is the only question. The billing folder would have a private insurer and government payer folders within it. The billing folder would have private insurer. Common constraints would be specific and organization level policies. Other policies would be defined at the appropriate folder. That is very normal. Beep, beep, boop. Yes, that's also normal. Folders for each department. The billing folder will have private insurer and government payer within it. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I would just do that. I didn't even read the whole thing. The records management, application managed medical, access to the data is limited. Billing department application is insurance. Another group of employees have billing information. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, whatever. God, that's a long thing. Time is of the essence. When you create a hierarchy, you can have more than one of which structure? You can have more than one folder and, oh, jeez. Folder and project. You can only have one organization. And in the organization, you have many folders and projects. Folders are like departments. You are designing an application that uses a series of services to transform data from its original form into a format suitable for use in a data warehouse. You could allow the application to write to the message queue by using which of the following? Allow the application to write. A designing application that uses a series of services to transfer data from its original form into a format suitable for use in a data warehouse. Your transformation application will write to the message queue as it processes each input file. You don't want to give users permission to write. Oh! That's easy. You don't want to give users permission. So it's the service account that does it. Your company has a number of policies that need to be enforced for all projects. Let's go to the question. How can you override? So always do the question first. Question first. How can you override a policy inherited from another entity in the resource hierarchy? How can you override a policy from another entity? Inherited policies can be overridden by defining a policy at a folder or project level. I don't think they can be overridden. I don't think they can. I want to see the answer right now. Okay, so I'm on chapter 3. I'm going to go jump down to the bottom here. Blah, 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 blah. Where is this? Is this chapter 3? A few questions. That's just another question. Chapter 3. Okay. So, put this to the side. Number 1. Let's see. A. 2C. 3B. Oh, and 4 is B. Oh, thank you, God. Good, good, good. Yeah, I was like, that can't be overridden. I would have done that on the test, but just... You don't have to read all the mumbo-jumbo. They're just trying to confuse you, I think. Which of the following are types of constraints allowed? Allowed. Constraints are used in resource hierarchy policies. Yes. Which of the following are types of constraints? Allow all allowed value. Oh man. Allow all allowed. Values, child values. I'm going to say all of the above, and I'm going to check, because I have no idea. 5 is E. Yay, E! Okay, which of the following are not included in primitive roles? Owner, editor, viewer. Okay, so it's publisher. B. There's only 3 primitive roles. You're deploying a new custom application and want to delegate some application tasks to DevOps engineers. They do not need all the privilege of a full application administrator, but they do need a subset of those privileges. What kind of roles should you use to grant those privileges? New custom application. They do not need all the privileges. They need a subset. Full application administrator. So I guess it's just custom. I'm gonna have to look this up. 7 is D. 7D, I think. 7D. Yeah, it's got to be custom because the application administrator would be predefined. So it's even more defined as the custom. Alright, 8. An app for a finance company needs access to a database and a storage bucket. There is no predefined role that grants all the needed permissions without granting some permissions that are not needed. You decide to create a custom role. When defining custom roles, you should follow which of the following principles? An app for a finance company needs access to a database. Defining custom roles. I spaced out there, thinking about other stuff. Gotta focus. Defining custom roles, you should follow which? Defining custom roles. There we go. That's the key thing here. Least privilege. Always. There's no predefined role that grants all the... Yeah, that's just mumbo jumbo. Give the person just enough, whatever they need. No more. Least privilege. Let me make sure that's right. 8D. Don't want to skip too far. Oh my gosh. 8D. Yep. Least privilege. How many organizations can you create in a resource hierarchy? Just one. And not two. Just one. I don't even want to check. That's easy. You're contacted by a finance department in your company for advice on how to automate payments. What kind of account would you recommend setting up? Automate payments? Just billing. Okay, so 9A, 10B. Let's see. 9A, 10B. Yep. You're experimenting with GCP for your company. You do not have permission to incur costs. How can you experiment with GCP without incurring charges? Experiment. I would say make your own account. That's what I do. And just use the free services. Use your personal credit card. You can use only free services. Free services. Serverless are free to use. That is very wrong. Free services. It's either you can't or free services. It says without incurring charges. Free service. What's a free service? I'm just gonna go with you can't. Let's see. 11A. Oh, C. Free services. Okay then. Free services. I already got that wrong. I would really just make an own account and do the trial period, which is free. They give you $300 to play with. But not really free. Nothing's ever free. Your DevOps team. But I guess they have free services. Let me go to the question. What kind of resource is associated with the workspace? Computer engine instance. Okay. Or app engine app. I think it's A. Man, this is getting harder. 12 is A. D. God. How confusing is that? Kind of want to read that. Let me go down and I'll read it out a little more. How would you recommend they set up their billing accounts? Yeah, I'll just go back. I'll go over these later. How would you recommend they set up their billing accounts? Set up billing. Okay, number of subdivisions. Each division is managed independently and its own budget. Oh yeah. Each department has their own budget. That'd be a folder. Most subdivisions plan to spend tens of thousands of dollars, okay, whatever. Multiple self-service billing. Multiple invoiced. Multiple self-service. Self-service invoice. I'm gonna guess this one. 13B. D. Multiple invoiced. Right, highlight that. I'll go over that one too later. An application administrator is responsible for managing all resources in a project. Okay, what's the best way to delegate privileges? Okay. All resources in a project. So it's definitely going to be at the project level. I am service project account user. I think this is it. Service account user. Service project account. I think this is it. So I'd say A. 14A. Yes. Service account user. Woo. That is hard. Oh, I can use the colors. Interesting. I can go back and do this and highlight different colors. Okay. I don't know. I think I want to look at that again. Practice it. You work for a retailer with a large number of brick and mortar stores. Whatever. What authentication mechanism? Authentication. I'm thinking two-factor. Every night the stores upload daily sales. You've been asked at creating a service that verifies the uploads every night. You got your service account, manager question security, authentication. You explain the authentication message used by service accounts. I would say it's encrypted keys. No one can use a service account. No one can get in. No one can get in it. There's a new two-factor. 15C. C, yeah. That makes sense. There's no bio, there's no human. What objects in GCP are sometimes treated as resources and sometimes as identities? Service accounts. 16B. Yep. 17. Oops. 17. Following roles. Plan to develop a web app using products from GCP. Already established roles. For managing permissions such as read-only access or the ability to delete old versions. Read-only access. Read-only access. Or the ability to delete old versions. Delete old versions. I'm gonna go with predefined, because that's pretty simple. 17B. Primitive custom application. Yeah, B. Cool. Who is included? You're reviewing a new GCP account created for the finance department. An auditor's questions about who can create projects by default. Create projects by default. Resource manager projects create. Project admin. Basically this. It can be in a predefined role as well. But it has to have that subset C. B. What? Allow users to create projects. Oh my gosh. Just realized that. And it's projects. Yeah. That was just a stupid mistake. Create projects. I mean, that's like the main thing. That's, you go up here and you do new project. God. Wow. Alright. How many projects can be created in an account? Each channel is limited, determined by Google. I think this is it. I think it's D. Do the D or B. I'm gonna go with D. Oh man. There's like a quota or something. The D. Yes! If you need additional organizations, you can contact Google and ask for an increase in your limit. Whew. You're planning how to grant privileges to users of your company's account. You need to document what each user will be able to do. You explain that users with that role can perform a number of tasks, which include all of the following except organization IAM roles. Can perform a number of tasks. Defining the structure of the resource hierarchy. Determining what privileges users should be assigned. Defining IAM policies. Delegating over management roles. Whoa, that's hard. Delegating management roles. That sounds good. Defining IAM policies. That sounds good. Whoa, it stays green. Determining what privileges users should be assigned. So I'm going to go with this one. I think this one's the wrong one. 20A. B. Not necessarily responsible for determining what privileges should be assigned to users. That is determined based on the person's role. So it's this one. Wow. Wait, where's it? Is it orange or something maybe? I don't know. Defining the structure of the resource hierarchy. That's green, huh? Yeah, it's all colorful now. Is that it? Ooh, I gotta go. Okay. I'm gonna go back. Review. I guess we'll review those questions again later. There's one in particular I really wanted to see. 13D. Large enterprises should use invoicing when incurring large charges. I didn't know that. A self-service account is appropriate only for accounts that are within the credit limits of credit cards. Yeah, they should have their own billing accounts. Project. That was a mistake I made. I can get rid of this. Should just make it like pink or something. Alright, next time I'll go over... Man, I just jumped way too far. Chapter 4. Alright, let me jump down to the good stuff. Compute engine. Compute engine. Gotta love compute engine. Virtual machines. Call switching vary between regions. Okay. Custom machine types. Okay. Flexible environment. Kubernetes high availability. Engine use case. Cloud function use case. How images are used to create instances of VMs. How VMs are organized in projects. Instances run images. Oh gosh. Which contain operating systems. Let's do a light yellow. Operating systems, libraries, or other code. Specify project. Know that GCP has multiple geographic locations, regions, one or more zones. VMs run in zones. A region is a geographical location. Regions are zones linked with low latency, high bandwidth network connections. When not to use them. Understand the difference between the app engine. Flexible is for custom. Standard is for language specific, and it's a lot easier and less managed. I know what Kubernetes is. A container. Also containers in a cluster. Nodes in a cluster. Kubernetes Load balancing, automatic scaling, logging, node, health check, and repair. Cool. Yeah. Cloud functions, service used in programs in response to events, triggers. Oh no. Okay, that's it for today. I'm gonna